What's up, everybody? Your boy UltraMaximus here. I'm in for my CBSI Haul video number 10. Um, so yeah, just want to thank you guys for checking these things out and seeing what I've been up to. And it's my pleasure to actually share these things. This is a pretty cool little forum I think that we've got going on here. I hope to see more of you guys doing a little bit more haul videos and stuff like that instead of just a regular post pickups, just to see and hear a little bit more, than just what you're picking up. But we're gonna get into some of that stuff. I got some goodies. I got to try to entertain a little bit with a little bit of my weird collecting habits. So I'm gonna start this off. Some pickups and some mail drop offs. Obviously, it's been a couple of weeks since I've done a video, so that means that I got a little bit of a stack right here. But nothing too crazy. Maybe not. Definitely not as good as my last one, that's for sure. But we're going to start things off with the little independent book of the week. Um, other than a Transformers book, that this is the one for the wife. This would be The Walking Dead, number 176. I don't think she knows I got this for her yet, but she's in the other room, so she probably hears me talking about it right now. Also picked up a couple copies of the Michonne Sinkowitz cover because I heard there's a ton of first appearances in this. And also, Bill Sinkowitz is definitely, I think he's kind of undervalued. I think he's got some fantastic art. His Moon Knight book is phenomenal. But there's a couple other ones out there that are just really, really awesome. Got to give props to, the throwback on Elektra number one, if everybody remembers that one, white background cover. There is also a really cool recent Rocket Raccoon number one, where it was a homage to that. So, but yeah, Bill Sink, New Mutants fame and a little bit of X Force love in there too. He's got a couple other variant covers out there, and he's doing big things right now. So yeah, but speaking of big things, the big crossover going on over there at DC. Dark Knight's Metal, yeah, picked up the number 5. Picked up the Batman Who Laughs variant cover though. So, yeah, I think I got a little bit of event fatigue, as they call it, is when you wear out your buyers too much. And honestly, guys, I was trying to avoid Dark Knight's Metal at all costs. I got a few of the books and I actually flipped through and I was like, okay, this is actually kind of badass. And also, Trey kept talking about them even though I was avoiding them like the plague. So yeah, I eventually went back and I picked them all up. So it is a pretty good read. I just wish that if they did something like this, if they're going to do a big event like this, having it spread out over months, it does cause a lot of people to lose interest, which is one of the reasons why print runs usually falter. It's also because in a big event like this too, when you have more than 3 issues, people who get their like, oh, I want every book. Like when the Rebirth relaunch happened, everybody's signing up for all the different books and then not coming in and getting their pull list. So, it kind of happens with these stories too, I'm sure. But yeah, Phoenix Resurrection, I got to give them props for putting that thing out, in a few weeks, keeping people hooked, keeping people, addicted to the story. But we're not talking about Marvel stuff yet. So yeah, so that Dark Knight's Metal, going pretty good, I guess. I'm waiting to see the whole story, and it's one of those books that there's just so much going on. I haven't gotten a lot of the tie-ins outside of the Dark Knight's Metal self-titled books. But there's the Green Arrow and stuff like that, and of course first Batman Who Laughs and Teen Titans 12. I got a couple of those books, but nothing else outside that. So I haven't been reading the other things, and I'm honestly I'm not into DC as much as I thought I would be. There's a couple of books that I'm kind of enjoying, but that's about it. So into the annuals now. The first annual up from DC that I got was the Deathstroke annual. Now the Deathstroke annual actually had some good things in it, including some Wally West stuff, and the whole Flash War thing coming up. But this is the other Wally West, is the Wally West that's on the team with Deathstroke. So, but that leads me into the next book, which of course is the Flash annual. Now the Flash annual has a preview in the back of it for the Immortal Men, also the Jim Lee book of Immortal Men. We'll see how long Jim Lee's on that. Which Jim Lee also did a signing last week down here in Orlando by me. but unfortunately, I had to work at the office both Saturday and Sunday, so I was not able to attend that little signing gig. But no big deal. I met Jim Lee back in like 1993. Yeah, so Flash War Prelude, pretty cool, pretty good read. I'm actually interested to see where this one's going because Flash actually has grown on me a heck of a lot more. I used to love the older TV show, the one where Barry's dad on the new show was the Flash. So I used to watch that back when I was younger. I thought that was a good thing, but the newer show definitely got me back into reading it a little bit more. Now, just another pickup, just because again I'm completing the whole run of variants. I skipped out on the regular cover just because I was trying to cut down on the pull list this week. But I did get the variant cover for Batman White Knight. Gonna roll with that one. Good stuff. This was a good read. Batman number 40. I don't know if anybody else has got an opportunity to read it. I know it came out Wednesday. I'm trying to give some people some time to read some books. But the variant cover for this one and for the last one, I kind of like how they've been doing these little two-parters and stuff like that. But that one, still takes up on the dynamic with Wonder Woman and Bruce, trapped in a place where minutes in the real world is actually years where they're currently at. So even though they don't age and all that other kind of stuff, it's just it was a little weird. And how they left the last issue, hinting on Bruce about to kiss Diana, but then of course that issue happened. So if you haven't read it yet, read it. I'm not going to spoil it for you. And then it seems like these things are coming out like every 2 weeks because I'm sorry, every week is I got too many of them. But Harley Quinn, still picking up the Cho variants for the Cho run. Good stuff there for number 36, and got me a number 37 just out this week too. Had to dig through stacks of these things. DC's killing me with these dark back covers. Trying to find 90 candidates. Spine break free. Oh yeah, my stores love me though, even though I am a picky bastard. But kudos for them. So actually, speaking of being a picky bastard, I actually had to put back a Superman 40 annual or 40 variant this week, just because none of them came even anywhere near close to want for me to even want to pull them into the personal collection. But I did pick up a regular cover. I have yet to read it, so the last one was of course pretty much a one-off story, and then of course before that they were doing the stuff. You know what I'm talking about, Super Sons of Tomorrow. But I did manage to get a back issue, and I got it at $15, which is a smoking deal, comparatively to what it's selling for online. So this is definitely proof that my local store definitely loves me. Pick this up. This is of course a Mr. Miracle number 1, and of course it is a phenomenal grade looking copy. These DC glossy covers though, they do show everything. So if you've got marks on any of them, good luck, because they are brutal. Another brutal cover, but that's it for the DC stuff that I've got. So thank you for sticking to the DC portion and DC segment. But there are certain collecting goals that I'm sure we all have. Again, you guys know that I collect Transformers books. I did actually assemble a complete run of a certain variant. There's like 140 something of them. I think there's 151 total, but like 3 of them are rock and roll variants, and this is the Marvel hip hop variant run. I am proud to say that I'm going to double check my numbers and go through the boxes again, but I'm pretty sure that I have the final 12 that I needed that I was missing from the entire run, and I'm going to show you what those were. So these were at the tail end of the ordering percentiles, and Marvel's brutal on some of these stores. So your local store, I know sometimes it sucks to have to fill out a previews order form and go in there and tell them exactly what you want, but it does help them tremendously. Because ordering percentiles like 100%, 200%, anywhere between that 100 and 200% to goal of a previous issue order number. So, like, let's say what I'm holding here. This is one of the ones I was missing. This is from the last Hulk run where it was She-Hulk turned into a gray She-Hulk. So let's say for that number one right there, in order for them to be able to order as many of these hip hop variants as they wanted to, they sometimes would have to order 200% of an issue of Totally Awesome Hulk, and that may be easy for a store, or they would pick a different book like an Avengers or something with a decent ordering number, and that's kind of the game that these stores had to play. So this is why, if there's any percentile variant that you think is cool, that's a cover price variant that has good looking art, and that is not available in all your stores because you're only seeing it in certain places, and it's usually like Midtown and some of the big people and the big chains that get the ability to unlock all these things, and a few of your online eBay sellers. But yeah, so I mean, these things are sometimes tough, but at the end of the hip hop variant run, I mean, there's a couple of books out there that are selling for decent money, like that Star Lord, even though it shouldn't be because it was the volume before that. That's the first cameo of 616 Yondu. So yeah, but we're gonna go through these 12 here. So yeah, there was the Hulk number 1, then we got X-Men Blue, we got the Royals, and I'm surprised this one didn't do more. I know the show sucks in a lot of people's opinions. In my opinion, it was definitely like TV theater. I mean, the production value, you shouldn't hold high expectations for a TV show like that. I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. took them until last couple of seasons to get a budget to have a dude with a flaming skull in there. A lot of episodes. So, but by the way, all these hip hop variants, because of the black covers, these things are stupid tough to find in high grade. There's a few of them that I had to buy doubles, triples of in order to get the grade that I wanted. But this last batch on these last 12 came out pretty nice. And Iron Fist, of course, should have done better, but the show kind of caused that to lose a lot of interest. Kingpin, Elektra. I added the Bullseye a few weeks ago at a local con here. And then these were kind of interesting too, because these are starting to vanish from a lot of places, and you really have to dig. And the couple cons that I went to, nobody had any of these hip hop variants, and it was like pulling teeth trying to find them. But Monsters Unleashed, I got number 5. This is from the miniseries. Number 4, I already had number 3 and number 1, and then I secured the set and got me the number 2. So there's all those. Then of course, like I was saying, tail end here, Secret Warriors. So sad that book's gotten canceled. Mel V. Mel V and I know that book had a lot of potential, being Karnak, Moon Girl, Ms. Marvel. It just sucks that a book like that gets canceled, especially when they could totally make take advantage of that on TV. And you know what, Samuel L. Jackson, I don't know why you're not making appearances on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on TV, because you totally should. And you, sir, are Nick Fury. We know that. And yeah, so there's that Nick Fury. And then, of course, this is a Jenny Frijon cover. Mighty Captain Marvel number 1. So I'm like ecstatic. I get to move a short box and put a lid on it and not have to look in it for a while, until it's time to grade the whole run. Maybe I'll get a pedigree. Who knows? Maybe I'll grade a whole bunch of books and try to get a collector's set or something like that. I know there's like competitive sets that some of those guys on CGC boards go for, but the thing I'm competitively collecting is my Transformers book, and I'm not even really competitive. I just want them. All right, so we're winding down the stack here. So yeah, last week we had these Young Guns variants. So the Young Guns variants started showing up in stores. There was a couple of stores that got like 4 of them. There was other stores who got none of them. There was my local comic shop that I got mine for cover price at that had 1 of them. The other local comic shop that I had, which is part of a chain, had a few, but he gave them, I think he had 2 of them, and they went to subscribers. Now, week 2, which was this week, we had, of course, the X-Men Red number 1. Well, they put a sticker price of $40 per copy on that. So I kind of left that one there, and that was at the chain store. The other local comic shop that actually I got the Avengers one at didn't get any of the X-Men. So this system for distribution of these books is kind of wonky. I don't know, what the actual, everybody's trying to, oh, the print runs are stupid high, 6,000. Okay, where's the data on that? you know, because I'm only seeing like 70, 80 listings on eBay. And if that's the case, these may be a little bit more rare. I know the Flood came from the Daughterman one, but you know, the X-Men one might be a little bit better. Who knows? But we'll see, because it's only this first batch of Virgin variants that are actually going to be Virgin. All the rest of them, if you look in this month's previews, there is an advertisement for the Young Guns variants going forward, and that's going to be for the variant covers that I guess these artists are going to be doing. So yeah, pick me up the Daughterman. I love it. I think it's a good addition to my collection. And again, picked it up for cover price, so I'm not really complaining. And it is a slam dunk 9.8 candidate all day. This is also further proof that my local comic shops love me, because he had it behind the counter, and I was like, "Hey man, what are you doing with that guy?" And he's like, "Oh, you want it?" I said, "Yep." And I go, "How much is it?" He goes, "Oh, well, it is cover price for you, sir." So, you know, got to, you know, thank, you know, for being a good loyal customer at some of these places. They tend to hook you up. But that is indeed a first print. Or I do actually, I was able to find 2 copies of the second printing of that book, which, you know, I don't think it's very, very large, but I still think it's kind of cool. It looks really good with the blue background. And then of course I picked up one of these just for the you know, complete run, because Venom Inc. I think is probably one of those the future classics. And somewhere else, I think it was on one of the Facebook pages, one of the guys was talking about, imagine a modern Planet of the Symbiotes 2 with the Carnage, who's currently hosted by somebody else. So that's interesting. Imagine that with the you know, Agent Anti Venom, as Flash Thompson is known now, and of course Venom, and of course Maniac, and all the other guys. So Planet of the Symbiotes 2 idea from some dude on Facebook. Thanks for that idea. Yeah, so stacks dwindling down now, and we got some goods here. So Phoenix Resurrection, I did nab the last Hugo connecting variant just because Wolverine Phoenix, who's apparently his true love, whatever that is. But this one here, now the 1 in 25 from issue number 4 obviously is Fuego, like seriously hot fire. Artwork on that thing is just ridiculous. But this right here is definitely the perfect tribute / homage for the perfect kind of Jean Grey, you know, resurrection book, where it shows all the different costumes she's had over the years. And it's just funny, she's holding the Black Queen one, and kind of like, I don't think this one's mine, because it's not, right? Like, there was a brief period, but whenever I see the Black Queen costume, I refer more to Madeline Pryor, just because the replacement. But I think this is a fantastic, you know, cover. And if you look closely, that right there is the new costume that is hated and loved. So that was just one of my favorite pickups from that run. I didn't actually pick up the entire run. The Cliff's Notes version, just by reading the last 2 issues, was actually a lot better. And then tying off my Old Man Logan incentive variant, having the top incentive variants that they were offered up to issue 25 is now complete. I might be chasing more after this one. I highly doubt it, but now that that run is complete, that box might also get moved, just like the hip hop variants. So, thankfully, this thing got a quick press, and it came back real nice, because this book right here was actually supposed to be in my pull box. I'm subscribed to the series. And I asked the shop, I was like, "So how come I didn't get the second print of my box?" And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know you wanted it." I was like, "Well, I want it." And he's like, "Oh, well, you know, this guy called in and he asked for it. And what we're talking about here is a Thanos 13. But luckily, the book had a little bit of a ding on it. It went to the press and pressed out real nice. And now it is back. And it's a beautiful copy. And it's in my personal collection. And I paid cover price for it. So, but the funny part is I had to dig it out of the box. It had been updated, priced to, I think, $20, something like that. It had a sticker on it, and it wasn't cover price. But thankfully, my shop loves me, and it took care of me on that. I was able to successfully score 2 of these guys, though. This would be the Thanos number 14 second printings. I already have the variant, and I believe I have a regular cover too. Pretty sure I do. I'm actually missing the regular cover for 13 because I was rolling in the 13 variants, and now down to 1 copy of the 1 in 25, and I did actually have a successful sale of 170 on my other raw copy. I razzed one copy too. So out of the 3, only 1 remains, and I don't even know if I'm going to grade it. It's just going to sit in my personal collection unless I do decide to do anything crazy with it. I know it's going crazy money wise, but I know how sometimes these things go, and I honestly I don't want to risk losing the book and selling it for a large sum of money and then not being able to replace it later for that much and having to spend more on it, which is bound to happen sometimes. But one last Marvel book, and then I got one more book, and then I got something cool to show. It's a personal collecting achievement of my life. This right here, Infinity Countdown #1, the all red variant. This is basically Guardians of the Galaxy #151. Guardians of the Galaxy again got canceled at issue 150, and they started doing this Infinity Countdown. So Infinity Countdown Prime, I believe, comes out next week. It's got a Wolverine variant cover on it, so look for that one. Cool stuff, but I actually kind of really dig that issue. I really recommend people read it. Just kind of a nice tie off on the end of things and seeing how Warlock comes back. And that just also gave me a nice little throwback to the previous Warlock book that I found at that con I went to. So, all right. So Transformers Lost Light. Rimlock variant cover for the 1 in 10 incentive out for issue 14, which was released this week. So definitely going to be a book that you Grimlock collectors out there and you Dinobot lovers, this is definitely one of those good covers. Flaming sword and all, man, just ready to chop stuff down. The whole background's on fire, and it looks like it's a Brennan Cahill cover. So Cahill also did some interiors on this one. I have yet to read the book. I'm probably going to leave this one sealed and go ahead and splurge and buy the digital copy and read it that way, because that way I don't ding it. So Transformers collecting, I'm very, very picky. And in my lifetime, there was just a lot of those big figures, again, Trypticon, that's what I'm talking about in my video right here. I got that Tryp, if you know what I'm talking about. This thing is massive, and just so you guys can see the scale of this thing, this is the box that Trypticon comes in. He is no tiny transformer. He is not going to be your $20 Generations figure. This thing is a freaking city. Okay, so there's 3 of these big boys now in my personal collection. It's not 3 Trypticons, but Trypticon, Fortress Maximus, and Metroplex. Those are the 3 biggest pieces of unobtainium from my youth that we're never going to see my Transformers collection ever. I mean, of course, I can buy the figures now, even secondhand used. Most of the Trypticons were battery operated. Most of them have corrosion all in them. None of the lighting works. Some of the reissues are cool, but this is an updated figure. This is a brand new figure. So the way it transforms, the details, all those things are kind of updated for this century and stuff like that. And believe it or not, the box isn't terribly bashed, and it came from Hasbro Toy Shop. I managed to get this thing on their blowout. They had 100 of these things left, and they blew them out for 75 shit. So this is definitely achievement unlocked for me. Like 8-9-year-old me is screaming inside, I finally got one, man. Because this is definitely one of those things that I totally desired as a kid that was just so far out of reach for me. So just proof dreams do come true. Just picked up some good stuff. Got me a little collection achievement unlocked. And I don't know what's on store for the horizon here. I know I got a couple of books in the mail and some things that I look forward to already starting a little pile for the next video. And appreciate you guys, checking me out and watching. And, see you next time. Okay. Thanks again.